Compound. This is the peer-reviewed edition. I believe Compound is almost or is 10 years old at this point, and this is a new version of the game that uses the periodic table as a scoring track, and you are collecting elements to make, well, compounds without starting everything on fire. Let me show you. In this game, you're going to keep track of score on the periodic table, which frankly is not the best score track in the world, but it is thematic. You're going to have a bunch of different elements out here in the middle of the boards, different compounds, I'm sorry, not elements. And if you're playing on teams, you'll have even some of these giant ones out there. Each player is going to have their own player board. So here's an example of the purple player. And you're going to keep track of your discover, study, research, and lab. You'll be able to, over the course of the game, move these up. Whenever you complete one of these, it will tell you at the bottom if you're moving up your liquid, solid, or gas, or you can always move up the purple one if you want to. These are going to change the things that you can do over the course of a game. Now, each round is run the same way. Players are going to be drawing elements from a bag, and this chart tells you how many of each there are. The number of elements that you're going to draw is where you are in the discover. So we get 3 at the beginning. So here I draw these 3. You can trade with other players. You can go back and forth. And then you can only keep so many, as it says here in your lab. That's how many that you can keep, how many you're allowed to store. And then you can claim compounds. So each player starts with one of these, and as the game goes by, you can claim more of them. As you move up on the different tracks, you'll get more of these pieces that you can use. But you can claim a compound, and when that compound scores, you're going to be the one to get points for it. And then you'll simply just be able to put these out, and the number that you can place is where your research is. Once the whole thing has been finished, you're going to score it. It's going to give you points that it shows here. So this shows 6 points. It's going to let you move up 1 on the research. There's the gas research track here, or I can move up on the lab instead, which just basically gives you points at the end of the game. And then the card will be discarded. Many cards give rewards. Some rewards will allow various things here. Some will give tools. Whenever you get a tool, you will find the matching tool, whatever it might be, and put in front of you. Each player starts with a fire extinguisher tool. That tool is important because as elements are replaced, as the compounds here are finished, you're going to be replacing them, and sometimes a fire will come out, and any volatile compound, which all little fires have a fire put on them, if another one comes, well, basically they kind of burn up and explode, and yeah, then you're not going to get any points. But you can use one of these to put fires out. When you use tools, they are essentially face down, but you can recharge them by putting on the main board. You can put your marker there rather than claiming a compound. There's a few more rules, but that's basically how it goes. And when someone gets to a certain number of points, the game is over and they win. Compound is a game that when I first played it, I liked it because I was like, yes, we have a science game that's also fun, because that combination is fairly rare. Compound gets a 7 out of 10 from me. It is an entertaining game, and this one, by the way, really nice pieces. All the little different vials and things you have for your pieces are great that they're different. The gems, it's so easy to play and understand. So that's good, but the game itself is also fun. Now, there's some lightness to it. You're drawing gems from a bag. Sometimes you get gems. It just works for you. I do think that the team version is probably a little better than the regular version, but I think both work well. But the idea of finishing stuff up, you can finish somebody else's compound, and you don't get any points from it, but if they get a reward from it, like a new tool, you get that tool too. And that little bit of kind of incentive to cooperate is something that I like a lot. There's a little bit of back and forth interaction, but there's not as much trading as you might think. But there definitely is sometimes where you'll go, oh, there's a fire starting? I love to put it out, but I just don't want to. So there's a bit of that, which is a little odd. If my fellow scientist lab's on fire, I'll probably help him out. But the tools and everything, this is not a very complex game. It is a smidge too long. It drags out a little longer, but I mean, you can fix it just by saying, I think it goes to 80 points by saying 70 points instead or something. But I found it to be nice. And again, it is a good science game. So definitely check out Compound It, the peer review edition.